Okay. Discuss the extent to which you feel comfortable advocating for a client. If a senior clinician told a client incorrect information about a medication, what would you do? Um, so I personally do not have any therapy experience yet, but I am big on advocacy in other jobs I've worked and for myself and for others. It comes very naturally to me. But in this very particular case, there's obviously the nuance of, a senior clinician might have more authority than me or feel like they have more authority than me and may be a little bit more less willing to listen to criticism, though I would hope that would be the opposite case if they're in a seniority. But um, I think in this particular situation, would be just trying to find the information that's missing. What incorrect information are we talking about? Does that mean that something was missed? Does that mean something was mixed up for the client? I think just getting more answers in this situation is what I would want. I would just approach it in a way of like, hey, I think there's some information missing. This is what my client is telling me. Can you relay what you have given them, etc. I think regardless, advocacy can end up being kind of messy, but I think, a lot of this can just be avoided by finding out what the communication style is of the other clinician, maybe. Um, but yeah, there's like a lot of, questions. Like, hopefully, I'm just making a lot of assumptions about this other person, but I try to overlook the fact that they're a senior clinician and more about like they gave information that was wrong to um a client, and I think that should be addressed, and hopefully they could put aside the possibility of their ego of being a senior clinician in the way. And for number two, discuss the article and what particularly stuck out to you. I'm not sure if you meant the first or second article. I could not get access to the first one for some reason, maybe because I'm doing this much later than I'd like to be doing. But for the second article, it talked a lot about the, you know, how psychodynamic and cultural influences really talk about the body mind split. And it's just a lot about, as a clinician, supporting your client's agency and meeting them where they might be resistant to medication. In another class of mine this semester, we talked a lot about working with resistance instead of against it, and what that actually might mean for what the client is going for. And I think this article did a lot of the same um, type of information, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It just said a lot about how important it is to see where the client is coming from, what their worldview is, and why they might view medication in the way that they're viewing it, and going from there. Just very much putting it into their court, I guess, and trusting that they know what is best for them. And if for some reason you feel as if you know what's best, just based on if they're like in a more dangerous situation, then I think, we could go back to a bunch of other discussions where we talked about how important it is to figure out where you as a clinician should step in. But I, for me, I feel like building that collaborative relationship enough where they feel comfortable that if I were to step in and know their best interest in mind, then that's the route I would go. But hopefully that's an okay answer. I think it was for the first article, but unfortunately I didn't have access to it. So yeah. Anyway, really enjoyed this class, and hopefully look forward to any other classes that I'll have with Jonalyn in the future.